All right, welcome. Today, we're jumping in and demystifying the whole world of credit cards. So whether you're just getting started or you're trying to figure out how to squeeze every last reward point out of your spending, we're going to turn all that confusion into clarity. Let's get right into it.
Does this feel familiar? You start looking for a credit card, and suddenly you're just lost in this massive sea of plastic. They're all promising to be the best one, right? It's a totally normal feeling. I mean, there are hundreds of cards out there, and each one's got its own rules, its own fees, its own rewards. Yeah, it's super easy to get lost in all that noise.
But hey, don't worry about it. We're going to approach this like a journey. Think of this explainer as your map. We're going to guide you right from that very first step of building your credit all the way to using these cards to help you fund your biggest dreams.
Okay, so let's start where it all begins. If you're someone with very little or maybe even no credit history, this is basically square one. These first cards, they're all about one thing: building a really solid foundation.
First up, you've got student cards. And what's cool about these is that banks totally get it. They know you're a student, probably don't have a huge income, and your credit history is a blank slate, so they're easier to qualify for. A lot of them don't have an annual fee, and some even give you little bonuses for getting good grades. It's a pretty fantastic way to start building credit while you're still in school.
And then for just about anyone else who's starting out, or maybe looking to rebuild their credit, there are secured cards. I love this analogy. They're basically the training wheels for your credit journey. It's pretty simple, actually. You put down a cash deposit, let's say $500, and boom, that's your credit limit. It makes things super low risk for the bank, and it's the perfect way for you to prove you can handle credit responsibly.
So who exactly should be looking at these cards? Well, it's pretty clear. We're talking about students trying to get a head start, people who are brand new to the whole credit thing, or anyone who's maybe had some bumps in the road and is working on rebuilding their score. And honestly, it's for anyone who just wants a simple, no-fuss entry point. If any of that sounds like you, then yeah, this is exactly where you should start.
All right, so you've built up some credit history. Awesome. Now you get to graduate to the next level, the everyday spending cards. I like to call these the workhorses of your wallet. You know, the ones you'll probably pull out for groceries, gas, that daily coffee run, all the normal stuff.
And what you see here is a really clear trade-off, right? On one hand, you've got your standard card. Super simple, no rewards, but you usually get a lower interest rate. That's huge if you think you might carry a balance from time to time. On the other hand, you've got the Cashback card, where you're earning money back on everything you buy, but that interest rate is probably going to be a little bit higher. So you've got to ask yourself, what's more important to me right now? Lower interest or earning rewards?
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? That's the real magic of rewards cards. It's not about tricking you into spending more money. It's about getting a little something back on the money you were already going to spend. And believe me, getting 1, 2, or even 6% back can add up to some serious cash over a year.
Okay, so you've got the whole cashback thing down. You're paying your bill in full every month. You're ready for the next level. So now it's time to really level up your rewards game. We're going to move from earning cash to earning, well, experiences.
And that brings us to the world of travel cards. These are the cards that let you rack up points or miles that you can turn into flights and hotel stays. Now, here's the big thing you have to know. They almost always come with an annual fee. And we're talking anywhere from maybe $95 to, get this, over $695 a year. So the big question is, are they even worth it?
And for a lot of people, the answer is a huge yes, and it's because of perks like these. But let me give you a little insider tip here. Don't just look at the annual fee. Look at what I call the effective annual fee. So for example, say a card has a $400 fee, but it gives you a $300 hotel credit every year that you know you'll use. Well, suddenly that card's only costing you $100. You start adding in the value of lounge access, free checked bags. These cards can literally save you money, but only if you actually use the benefits. Okay, and this right here, this is a really, really important distinction to make. With general travel points, you get maximum flexibility. You can move your points to lots of different airlines and hotel partners. It's all about options. But with co-branded cards, like one from a specific airline or hotel, it's all about loyalty. They lock you into their brand, but in return, they give you amazing perks like priority boarding or free nights that you just can't get anywhere else.
But you know, cards aren't always about earning rewards. Sometimes they're just the right tool for a very specific financial job. You wouldn't use a hammer to saw a piece of wood, right? Same idea here.
And the perfect example of this is the balance transfer card.
I mean, if you're stuck with some high-interest debt on another card, these things can be an absolute lifeline. You can move that debt over and pay 0% interest on it, usually for 12, 18, sometimes even 21 months. That gives you some serious breathing room to actually chip away at that debt.
But listen, you have to have a plan to make this work. It's a simple 4-step process. You find a good 0% offer. You make the transfer, and just be aware there's usually a one-time fee of about 3 to 5%. And then, and this is so important, you make a concrete plan to pay off the entire balance before that 0% period is over. And for goodness sake, don't put new purchases on the card. That just defeats the whole purpose.
And this is why having that plan is absolutely non-negotiable. Because once that sweet 0% intro deal runs out, the interest rate can skyrocket to 25%, maybe even higher. This is a huge warning sign that these cards are a temporary tool, not a permanent fix.
And of course, there are other specialized tools out there. Business cards are awesome for keeping your work expenses separate and earning rewards on things like shipping or office supplies. And store cards, well, they can get you a nice instant discount on a big purchase. But you got to be super careful with those interest rates because they are often shockingly high, sometimes close to 30%.
Okay, so we've gone through all of this. How in the world do you find the perfect card? Well, let me let you in on a little secret. There's no such thing as the single best credit card. The only best card is the one that's best for you and your life.
You know, this chart really breaks it down perfectly. Look at this. The single biggest factor, a whopping 40% of your decision, should just be your spending habits. Where does your money actually go every month? After that comes your financial goals. Are you saving for a trip, paying down debt? Then you factor in your credit history and how much you travel. It's a recipe, and your spending is the main ingredient.
And honestly, it's that simple. But this is where so many people get it wrong. It just comes down to being real with yourself. If you fly once a year to see family, that fancy airline card with a huge annual fee, it's probably not going to work for you. If you eat out all the time and your fridge is just a place to store leftovers, a card that gives you bonus points on groceries isn't going to do you much good, is it?
And that right there, that leads us to probably the single most important thing I want you to walk away with today. Do not change your life or your spending to fit a credit card. It's supposed to be the other way around. Choose the card that fits the life you are already living and rewards you for it.
You know, it's famous as a marketing slogan, but it's actually a really important question to ask yourself. After all this, take a minute and think about the cards you're carrying right now. Are they really working for you? Are they rewarding you for your life, the way you actually live it? It's definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks so much for joining me.